Greetings, Andy here again. And in this video, I'm running through a bunch of reissues, or mostly reissues, that I bought mostly recently, but plus a couple that I actually bought last year and somehow managed to file away and forget about, and I've just come across them. More of those later. Huge variety. I've got absolute massive variety here, starting with some classic soul. I've got some pop. From a couple of excellent female singer-songwriters. I've got a disco diva. I've got a bit of hip-hop. I've got some country rock, some modern prog, and we're finishing on a magnificent, heavy, psychedelic wig out. So this is variety. Anyway, let's start with the soul record, and it is Otis Blue and Otis Redding Sing Soul. So this originally came out in 1965, I think, and it's got some, absolute classic soul records on here, well written. Old Man Trouble, Respect, Change Gonna Come, Down There My Girl, Satisfaction. So cover of the Stones, Satisfaction, and this is absolutely fabulous. And boy, it was really cheap. So this was. Can't remember exactly. It was about like £14 or something like that. It was, half price, it's absolutely superb. It's in mono, even though it's a relatively modern reissue, and it's on clear vinyl, and it's really it's thick vinyl. It's very, very clear. So this doesn't sound like an old record. It is very modern. Now we're coming to two pop records, a debut going back a bit, and the most recent one from an American lady who lives in this country, and I'm not talking about Courtney Love, who also does. And a British singer who lives in America. So let's start with the American singer, and that is Tori Amos, and this is her debut album, Little Earthquakes, which came out in 1991, I think, originally. So Tori lives in Bude in Cornwall and has done since the late 90s. She brought up a family there. It's not exactly rock and roll. It's a lovely seaside town, but this is a fabulous record. It's got China on there, leather, Mother, Crucified. Absolutely excellent. And again, it was half price. It's a double on black vinyl. And to the British singer who lives in America, and that's Adele. And this actually isn't a reissue, but it's obviously came out two or 3 years. When did it come out? 21, I think. So it's about 4 years old. It's her last record. I remember seeing Rick Beato doing a video on how absolutely pitch perfect her voice is and her singing, there's absolutely never any auto-tune or anything like that, but she just sings perfectly, and they're great songs. I have her first, I think this is a third. She was 19, 25, and this one, I think I've got 19 which I got when it came out as a digital download. Some reason didn't get 25. It's pop, but she's a fabulous songwriter and sings beautifully. So, and this one is on clear vinyl, and it's a double. And to a disco diva, and this is Goldfrapp, and her. So the thing with Goldfrapp, there's Alison Goldfrapp, which is obviously her name and is her solo sort of output on she does under her full name, and the last couple of records have been those. And Goldfrapp is the name of the band. It's actually a duo. Her and I've forgotten the guy's name. I do know it's Will. Can't remember. And this this came out in 21. It's also actually not a reissue, but I don't think it is anyway. It's it's great. disco pop, really. And there you go. And this came out in pink. It's a pink vinyl. I think it's meant to be magenta, but it looks pink to me. And some hip hop. Whatever next? I'm not known for being, I'm not a hater, though I'm quite fussy about it. But this is like just one of those albums I thought I ought to have, that I've enjoyed, stuff on the radio from. And I'm talking about De La Soul and their debut 3 Feet High and Rising. It's classed as, one of Rolling Stones' 100 albums everyone should own. And it's great stuff. I really enjoyed it. I've listened to it 2 or 3 times since I got it, and I like it. And this one's in pink as well. There's sort of a run of pink. It's a double. And last in this lot is an album I got on CD when it first came out, but I just saw this at a heavy discount and thought, oh yeah, I'll get that. And it is the Arctic Monkeys debut. What's it called? I always forget this. Whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. So this is them really raw. The last album I've sort of really begun to get a bit disappointed with, to be honest. He's sort of started to croon a bit, but this is when this was rock and roll, indie rock and roll, I bet you look good on the dance floor. You probably couldn't see the lights, but you were staring straight at me. Mardy Bum, From the Ritz to the Robber. I mean, it's just a great album, and it's a single LP, and it's on black vinyl. Yeah, those were my sort of somewhat random, sort of serendipitous, shall we say, dabble into online sale. The next few albums I actually went looking for, the first of which is a compilation of Creedence Clearwater Revival. This one's called Bad Moon Rising. And it was sort of like one of those bands I always thought I don't have anything of, but I've always liked Proud Mary. And I thought, yeah, I ought to get a compilation sometime. And I just happened to see this and thought, oh, I'll go for it. And what I've discovered is I like Proud Mary. Rest of it just so it's okay. I will listen to it again and see if I can learn to like Creedence Clearwater Revival other than Proud Mary. And this is one I sort of looked at and thought about recently, looking at the great albums of the current century, and realised that I actually only have this on a digital download, and I needed a permanent copy. And I'm talking about the Decemberists and their magnificent The Crane Wife, which I think is their finest album, which came out, can't remember when exactly, in the early, so we can see the date on this, 2006. And it's just a fabulous album. They're great storytellers, Colin Malloy. The Crane Wife is a sort of Japanese story, and it's a double album, just on plain black. Now, I've got to finish off. I've got 2 records that I found accidentally. So in the last week, I spent a couple of days going through my whole collection, trying to create a bit of space. And separating out, I decided to separate out all the live records and compilations into separate ones and the studio. And in doing that, I came across these 2, which I bought last year and somehow just filed away. And this one, it was still sealed. It's called Acid Guru Pond. And basically, it's a double album. And it's one extended psych wig out, and it's a collaboration between 3 bands. Bardo Pond is probably the main one. And I've got most of their stuff. So Bardo Pond is sort of heavy psych, stroke post rock, sort of stroke prog, but more at the psych end. And they come from Philadelphia. And then there is the Japanese band Acid Mother's Temple, again great psych. And then there's who I don't really know, but very venerable Guru, who I think they started out in the late 60s. They're German. They get classed as krautrock, but I think that's more just because they're German than actually the style of music. Again, it's heavy psych. It's sort of psych stroke prog. And it's like they've all got in the studio and are just jamming. It's brilliant stuff. I absolutely love it. And as I say, it was sealed, so I've opened it up. And I've only played it once, but really loved it. It's just on black vinyl. And last but not least is a Swedish prog band. It's a live album, and the band is Agusa. As I say, they're Swedish, and this album is called Ecstasis Live in Rome, and as you might imagine, it was recorded in Rome. And this is just really good prog. You know, there's flute in there, there's lots of synths, and you know, it's really sort of like classic prog, but done now. And a great live album, and it's just plain black. It's a double. So there we have it. That's a whole bunch of mostly reissues. Great variety, just really adding to my collection. And as I say, the last two were ones I actually bought last year. Specifically, I went looking for them, well, that's not quite true actually. I think one of them I went looking for because I saw it on the Agusa one. I saw on somebody's video, and I can't remember who it was exactly. It might have been Alex at Beer and Vinyl, but I'm not 100% sure. The Bardo Pond one, you know, whenever they produce anything, I get an email from Fire Records, and this was a reissue of something which was produced originally in 2016, I think. The Bardo Pond Guru come Acid Mother's Temple. So there you go. I'm rabbiting on. Thanks for watching. Cheers.